Hello, everybody. Welcome again. We are exploring Christianity by reading the Gospel of Luke, one of the early accounts of the life of Jesus. And we are dealing with questions that arise out of reading it. The question that came up this week in our discussion is, if Jesus did so many miracles in the New Testament, why do we not see more miracles happen today, especially with this virus going on? And I want to offer some thoughts on that regarding miracles. Firstly, the reason we find it difficult to believe in miracles is that we are used to live only by that which we can see, which we can perceive, and that which we can prove. We are living in what's been called an immanent framework. We live only by the things we can see, feel, touch, and outside of that, there is nothing, or there's just only speculation. But actually, that's not how we live our lives most of the time. There's lots of things we cannot explain, like love. Everybody believes that love is more than just a chemical reaction in your brain. Or take showing interest, for example. When do you know that you're really showing interest in somebody? Maybe you have the body language going on, but maybe you're thinking inside, yeah, I don't really care. The other person will notice that, but you cannot really prove it. Uh, Christianity starts from what we call a transcendent framework, that there are things which transcend our physical reality. There is more, and most importantly, there is a creator, God. And if God is out there, He is all powerful and He can do as He pleases. And so, if God exists, miracles are not that all impossible. Secondly, when we read about miracles in the life of Jesus, how do they function? When you read about miracles in the life of Jesus, you will notice that most of the time the evangelists, the writers, they're not using the word miracle, but they are using the word signs. Why is that? Signs are always pointing you towards something. Signs are pointing you toward a certain meaning. They have a function. Namely, the miracles that Jesus did are a sign to show that He is the Messiah, the promised one of God. His miracles are marks that God's kingdom has broken into the world and were a foretaste of the world that one day will become fully visible. A world without sickness, sorrow, and death, where everything is set right. The world made new and made whole. The world where you and I deep down are longing for and are looking forward to. A world without brokenness and without suffering. But still, why then are there so many miracles in the Bible and so few today? And you might tend to think that there's a miracle on every page of the Bible. But actually, we do see miracles. But we also see suffering and we see hardship. And we see unanswered questions. Paul, one prominent leader in the early church, describes how he, at a certain moment, leaves behind one of his fellow workers in a very ill and severe condition. Undoubtedly, he had prayed a lot for his fellow worker, but he didn't get healed. So this creates a tension. Sometimes miracles happen, and sometimes miracles, they don't happen. For me personally, this is also a tension. I have seen people getting healed, I have seen miracles, and also at other times I do not have seen people get healed, and I have not seen miracles. And this is the experience of many Christians. At the same time, in situations in which God seemingly seems absent and does not directly intervene, we see other kind of miracles. Last week in the news, the Italian priest who refuses to take his respirator when he found out that a younger patient also needed it. A complete stranger, he gave it away. Or think about the Coptic widows who refused to take vengeance on the terrorists who killed their husbands. Instead, they chose to forgive and they chose to love. Such acts of courage and of love and forgiveness, wouldn't you call that also a miracle? And thirdly, some people, maybe you're one of them, they're saying, well, today, if I would see a miracle happening before my eyes, I would surely believe in God. And the interesting thing is that in the days of Jesus, Lots of people, they did see the miracles of Jesus, and yet they still didn't believe in him. Why? Because they were still not willing to be persuaded by him. And the fact is, you actually need more than just a miracle. You need more than unexplainable experience, which you might end up discarding anyway. So what do you need? You need not just a miracle, but you need a great miracle. And God has given us just that. God has given us something far greater than just a miracle. God himself came into this world. That's the story of the Bible. God became human, became one of us to experience our suffering, our hardship. And Jesus Christ, when he came, he suffered, he died, and he rose again. In his dying, he proved that he loves us more than we can ever imagine. And in his rising, he proved that he is able to overcome evil and to change our lives and to forgive us of all the wrongs we've done and of our past. That is the great miracle of Christianity. Blaise Pascal, a great French philosopher, to sum it up, he said, God has given us clearly enough evidence to convince anyone who is open-minded and has an open heart, but it's also sufficiently not clear enough to not force those who are not convinced and not persuaded. And this is the invitation really of Christianity, to go on an adventure, to read the Bible and to discover for yourself, what did Jesus say, who he was. And that's what we are excited about, and that's what we want to invite you into. To go onto this journey with us together, to read the stories and to find out more about the most interesting and fascinating person in the history of the world. We hope to see you again soon. Hopefully next Monday you can tune in. See you soon.